Hi, I'm Brian Russell, and welcome to Matthew Inductive Bible Study, NT IBS 510. This is one of my favorite classes because this is the first class that I took when I began at Asbury Seminary on the Wilmore campus back in the fall of 1991, and I had the privilege of having Dr. David Bauer. We're using his book, his method book on inductive Bible study, but Dr. Bauer was a master teacher. He ended up being a mentor for me, so it's really my privilege to offer to you this semester my favorite class from my time at Asbury. I love inductive Bible study. You hear different narratives about it. Yes, it's a lot of work, but I can promise you this: if you dig in this semester and begin to cultivate the skills that inductive Bible studies brings, you're going to be really glad you did. And more importantly, the persons that you interpret Scripture for, maybe it's just for yourself and spiritual formation, but for others, they're going to be really blessed. I've used IBS for every time I've read the Bible ever since I had Dr. Bauer's class in 91. It's that good. In fact, I go on record in saying I would trade in my entire Master of Divinity degree just for Matthew IBS. Now that I've raised your expectations, it's my job to deliver. And again, I love teaching. I'll be present for you. This is an online class, but I will have some optional sessions using Zoom technology where we can have some live office hours. So if you're having problems, you can actually talk to me through the course of the semester. We'll set up some times. I'll set up some broad times where we can invite everyone, but if you're having any problems, we can also do some one-on-one pieces. I'm here to serve you, to make sure that you succeed. All you have to do is want to learn, and I'll help you as much as I can. So just bring a desire to learn. And I have a separate video on learning and knowing what your why is. So I encourage you to watch that and to think about what your why is. But anyway, what's inductive Bible study? This is our Asbury's broad class that is about Bible study method. And if you've ever wanted to dig deeply into scriptures, IBS will give you the tools and the tactics and the processes to do that. But what you have to bring is an openness to learning, because we'll ask you to do some things that you've probably never done. And sometimes the exercises may be tedious. Sometimes it's kind of like the Karate Kid movies. If you remember those, wax the car, paint the fence, sand the floor. Repetitive exercises that through repetition you build the skill set that allows you to study the Bible deeply, naturally. So go with the process. Make sure you're following the instructions. I have lots of videos. I'm going to walk you through examples. We'll talk about it. I'll answer the most common questions. I'll give you guidance on what I expect. All I ask you is to put the time in and work on it. So if you look at the syllabus, you can read through the course description. You can look at the student learning outcomes, and you can see that the SLOs for this class essentially lay out what inductive Bible study method is. Each week we're going to build on skills. Okay, and if you're in the MDiv program or Master of Biblical Studies, you'll be taking 2 IBS classes. This first class focuses on survey and interpretation skills. If you take a second IBS class at the 600 level, we'll be building on those things and then adding the process of evaluating and applying Scripture to our lives and into the lives of those for whom we read the Bible. The books that we're going to use for this class, make sure you have a non-paraphrase, a modern translation. So the NIV, the NRSV, the Revised Standard, the ESV. Don't use the Message. It's a little too it's too much of a paraphrase. But most translations are good. I'll talk more about that, but you want to have a good translation, and it's better to have an unmarked Bible. So if you use a study Bible, don't look at the notes, because this is going to be your own learning. So the process of this class isn't to show me how well you can read commentaries or how well you can copy notes from your study Bible. It's to show me what can you get out of the Scriptures with your own eyes, with your mind, with pondering the Scripture for hours at a time. The books are Bible Study That Works. In this initial week, you're going to have a big reading assignment. You're going to read Bible Study That Works. It's a very easy book to read. It's a quick read. Make sure you read it first. text that's simple enough that it'll lay out the method in the broadest sense, because then I'm going to have you read about the first half of the Bauer Trainer book, Inductive Bible Study. And that book, listen to me very carefully, is not easy to read. It's comprehensive. So read the Thompson book. You'll be able to grasp what he's at, and then read through the Bauer book. We'll be referencing Bauer when you need help throughout the semester. So you're going to do a quick read on the first half of that book. Look in the online for these precise pages, but read through it quickly and recognize that it's going to be like drinking through a fire hose, but you just want to get a sense of what we're going to be doing, but don't be intimidated by it. We're going to break inductive Bible study down piece by piece and build up your abilities over the course of the semester. So by the end of the semester, you're going to feel really good about what you're doing, and you'll have grown a lot in your ability to interpret Scripture. Also, had you purchased a commentary by R.T. France? That gives you one good commentary. I'll show you ways to get access to additional commentaries online, or if you're close to one of the campuses or have access to commentaries, maybe at a church library or a public library. We're going to use commentaries once we get to interpretation, but this class isn't a research class per se into reading commentaries. This is a class about learning how to do your own first-hand study of the Bible. That also have you buy a Bible dictionary. That will also be helpful because it'll give you some historical background material. So again, this first week you're going to be reading. You're going to be reading about method. So your goal this first week is just to get the big picture. Again, make sure you read Thompson first, and then read the Bauer book. And then we'll essentially have an assignment that'll be due roughly just about every week this semester, because you learn to study the Bible not by reading about the Bible, but by actually studying the Bible. Again, I'm Brian Russell. I'm here to serve you this semester. So if you have any problems, you can shoot me an email. We can talk on the phone. We can set up a teleconference, or you can just participate in some of the live office hours that I'm going to provide. Look forward to working with you. It's my privilege to serve as your instructor, and I will see you real soon. So I invite you just to jump in and get started online. Thanks.